Job Hunting
101.
Providing you with the tools you need in your job search.
Career fairs, resume writing, job banks, veteran programs.
Job Hunting
101.
And we'd like to welcome you back to another in a series of Job Hunting 101. We're talking about your local one-stop centers today. My name is Dale Green, Career Manager at Tampa Bay Workforce Alliance, and I'm delighted to have on the show today Tanya Weathers, who is the trainer extraordinaire at Tampa Bay Workforce Alliance, and also Bridget Skinner, who is the lead WRA Career Manager at TBWA. Welcome to our show today.
Thank you, Dale.
Thank you very much.
Now, many people don't know what the Tampa Bay Workforce Alliance one-stop career centers have to offer for the unemployed, underemployed, youth, veterans, etc. So today we'd like to give you some insight into what services we have to offer. Tampa Bay Workforce Alliance has 3 one-stop career centers and a satellite location in Ruskin. The first resource I'd like to discuss with everyone is Employ Florida Marketplace. Employ Florida Marketplace is an online tool that links all of Florida's state and local workforce services and resources. The partners are the State Policy and Oversight Board and the state agency which administers workforce funds. The website address is www.employflorida.com. At this website, a job seeker can search for jobs that match their skills, get advice about their resume, apply for jobs, and research careers. I'd like to show you a few how-tos before we discuss TBWA's services. Take a look.
I would like to introduce you to Employ Florida Marketplace, or EFM for short. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to get the most from EFM. You can access EFM by going to www.employflorida.com. During this tutorial, I'll be giving you information on registering with EFM, building your resume, performing your job searches, creating a virtual recruiter, researching labor market information and education and training, communicating with employers and career managers. Let's start with what is Employ Florida Marketplace. So what is EFM? Employ Florida Marketplace connects you to all of Florida's workforce services and resources by providing one name you can use to locate services anywhere in the state. So long as you have access to the internet, you have access to Employ Florida Marketplace. It's a powerful online job seeker tool with fast access to a complete set of employment tools. It's designed to be comfortable for everyone, even the person who has little computer experience. Why register? You may visit EFM and use many of the site features as a guest, but by registering yourself in EFM, you can create resumes and cover letters, create and save job searches, research education and training programs, create a virtual recruiter, take career skills assessments, and research specific labor job information. Now we'll discuss how to register. To register, go to www.employflorida.com and click on Not Registered, Learn How and Why. In option 2, Create a User Account, click on Individual. You can enter a chosen username, password, and populate your information. Then, save your username and password and store in a secure location. And now you are ready to use EFM. Now that you are registered in EFM, I'll show you how to create your resume using Resume Builder. Once you are logged into EFM, you will be on the main page. The top left menu is the quick menu of options. Here you can perform job searches, create resumes, click on My Resources to view your messages, appointments, upcoming events, and more, or click on My Portfolio to view and edit your individual profile and plans. Now, to build your resume, click on Resume Builder. On the Resumes tab, click on Create New Resume. This will begin the process for creating a new resume. Accessibility allows you to make your resume available to employers online when they are searching for candidates, or to only make your resume available to employers if you apply for a position with their company. The resume creation method allows you to create a resume using several input techniques. The first and most preferred method by employers is the manual format. This method uses a step-by-step resume builder and requires the most time and effort, but employers are most likely to find this resume format type. The automated entry automatically transfers text from an electronic resume to build background data. This method also saves time, but you'll be prompted to complete missing information. The copy and paste method allows you to transfer text from an existing copy. This method is quick, but not as useful to potential employers. Finally, you can copy existing data from a formally entered resume. This is the quickest method. Lastly, you'll title your resume. Note, you may want to include words for your resume title which highlight your skills, experience, or specialty. Also, be advised that this is a searchable field by employers if you choose to have the resume accessible online. Therefore, you may wish to omit any identifying information like your Social Security number. Good examples of a resume title are Class A Driver Resume or Culinary Arts Certified Banquet Server Resume. Once completed, click Next. Then, based on the resume creation method you selected, you'll follow the prompts to create your resume. Once your resume is completed, you are ready to learn how to begin a job search. To begin your job search, go back to the quick menu on the main page. Click on Job Search. Just like the resume builder, there are several methods for conducting your job search. The Quick Job Search tab allows you to perform a job search based on a keyword, such as driver, construction, clerical, or the name of a specific program you are familiar with, because the Quick Job Search searches job titles and job descriptions for the keyword you input. The Advanced Job Search tab allows you to search by a combination of advanced search criteria, such as the city, county, workforce region, zip code, metropolitan area, or state of your desired work location. You can also input the job order number if you know it, search by industry sector, job salary, full or part-time employment, job benefits, driver's license classifications, and much more. The Job Search by Employer gives you the options to search job postings by employers, search employers with the most job openings, and display a list of employers that start with a certain letter. Job Search by Education allows you to choose an education program and/or level you've achieved to search all jobs which require that education. The Job Search by Skills tab allows you to search jobs based on how well they match your entered skills. If you have a resume stored in EFM, you can use the Job Search by Resume Criteria tab. In the drop-down, select the resume to use to conduct the search, and EFM will provide a list of jobs which closely match your qualifications listed on that resume. Finally, the Job Number Search tab can be used if you know the exact job number you are interested in applying to. Once you have performed your job search and EFM has created a list of jobs for you to review, one thing to note is the source column. If you see a star populated in the source column, this indicates the employer is a preferred employer and has either manually entered the available position into EFM or is working directly with the business services team at your local one-stop center. This is important and to your advantage because many times, if the employer is preferred, the career managers at your one-stop center can issue a referral to that employer on your behalf. If there is a code in the source column instead of a star, it simply means the job was spidered from a job board such as Monster.com or CareerBuilder.com or a recruiter site. and the career manager is limited on their involvement with that employer. Now you are ready to create a virtual recruiter. On the main page under Services for Individuals, there are services listed with several sub-menus. With Career Services, you can see career tips, explore specific careers, or analyze the job market. The Job Seeker Services menu offers a checklist of 10 steps you can follow to get a new job, provides you with another way to access job searches, view job market trends, provides you with another way to access Resume Builder, takes you to Letter Builder, allows you to view employers posting jobs, and create your virtual recruiter. Education Services gives you access to find a suitable training or educational program and search job training providers in schools. You can also select Labor Market Services to access labor market facts, area, industry, and occupational profiles, and Florida FREDA, which is Florida's Research and Economic Information Database application, where job seekers can conduct labor market analysis. Finally, you can learn about topics of interest to veterans, youth, seniors, and more. Labor market information. If you are interested in researching labor market information, go back up to Labor Market Services. Your first option is to click on Labor Market Facts. This will bring you to a list of commonly asked questions about the local labor market, such as what is the unemployment rate in an area, what are the largest employers in an area, or what are the highest paying jobs in an area. Each question is a hyperlink to a page where you can select the desired area to gather your requested information. By selecting Area Profile, you will be taken to a page where you can select a specific area to research. The information returned will provide you with an area summary narrative on the economic status. Area details such as job openings in the specified area, candidates looking for a job in this area, training providers in this area, top occupations in this area, and much more. There is also a tab which allows you to compare that area with others. By selecting Industry Profile, you are taken to a page with several options to choose a specific industry within a specified area to retrieve labor market information on. You can search the industry by keyword, select the industry by sector, view from a listing of industries in alphabetical order, or search by industry code. The information resulting from your search will be similar to an area profile search. You will receive an industry narrative, industry details, and an industry comparison option to compare the selected industry with another area. Similar to the area and industry profile, the occupational profile allows you to search occupations by keyword, by group, by a listing of occupations, by education programs or military specialty, or by occupation code. The resulting views offer an occupation narrative, details about the occupation within the specified area, and an occupational comparison for the area. Finally, selecting Florida FREDA will take you to the Florida Research and Economic Information Database application. Here you can research labor market, economic, and demographic data, view labor market statistics reports, which are offered to support workforce and economic development, produce GIS maps of various data and automated charts of labor market information, which can be exported to several file types, research overviews of national, state, and local economies represented in presentations online, and view current unemployment rates. If education and training is what you are interested in, go back to the main page and click on Education Services to view your options. By clicking on Training Providers and Schools, you are provided with two tabs. The first one is Provider Search, where you can enter any combination of search criteria, such as a keyword, provider type, and provider ownership. Or you can select a provider from the alphabetical list. Either way, the result will display the provider's contact information and a listing of their programs with the program length for your reference. If you would like to see a listing of programs in your area, go back to Education Services and select Training and Education Programs. Similar to the provider search, you can search programs using any combination of search criteria, such as keyword, program classification, qualification, maximum total cost, and program type. Additionally, you can select a program from an alphabetical listing. Finally, another educational service you may be interested in are the online learning resources. This page contains links to websites that offer a variety of free online learning and training courses that you can use to expand your knowledge and skills. This leaves us with communication. Other services at the bottom left of the main page directs you to the Communication, Appointment, and Assistance Centers. The Communication Center gives you access to the Message Center, where you can receive emails from your local one-stop center, and the Correspondence Center, where you will find available correspondence letters and templates to send to employers. The Appointment Center gives you a view of appointments you are scheduled to attend, and the Events Calendar gives you a view of upcoming events at your local one-stop center. Lastly, the Assistance Center answers your questions about the Employ Florida Marketplace website. Now you are ready to begin using Employ Florida Marketplace. If you have any further questions about EFM, call or visit your local one-stop career center.
We're talking today about your local one-stop centers. My name is Dale Green, Career Manager at Tampa Bay Workforce Alliance, and I'm delighted to welcome my guest today. First, on my immediate left, I have Tanya Weathers, who is a trainer for the career trainer for Tampa Bay Workforce Alliance, and Bridget Skinner, who is the lead WIA. Now, we use a lot of acronyms in this series, so we're going to kind of break those down. Welcome, both of you, to our show today.
Thank you, Dale.
Thank you.
First of all, I want to talk about, I guess, the world's largest resource room. Tell us about what goes on in the resource room in Workforce Tampa.
Have computers, fax machines, telephones, printers, whatever they need to contact employers, to do their resume, to job search. That is the resource room.
I bet that costs a lot.
I don't get into cost, but it is there for the candidates, and it is all there for. I mean, some people can run their own small business from there. That's how much information and resources are there for them.
Right.
Definitely.
I guess the best part about the cost is that there is no cost.
There is no cost, Dale.
Yeah.
It is 100% free for any and everybody that walks through the door.
Right. And there are some limitations. I mean, let's face it, if somebody's going to a job fair and there are 40 employers, one can make 30 up to 40 copies of their resume.
They can, however many they need. There will be printers there for them to do that. If sometimes employers come in and say, hey, we need you to apply online first. They can simply go to the resource room and apply online.
Right. What are the hours of operation? Now, I know you have Plant City, you have Brandon, and as well as Tampa.
We do. In our Brandon and Plant City office, we have the operation from 8 to 5, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. In the Tampa office.
And that's Monday through Friday.
That's Monday through Friday.
Right.
Monday through Friday. And then on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Fridays, we have from 8 to 5 in their Tampa office. And Wednesday, it's actually open until 7 p.m.
Okay.
Okay.
What about if people need help? People raise their hand, I need help, I'm not too familiar, I need...
Yes.
Is assistance provided?
Yes, because not everyone are geniuses with computers and the different machines that we do, but we have the staff there. Just raise your hand, a staff member will come around and help whatever you need.
Okay. And what about the time limit? Is there any time limit to use a computer?
There is not a time limit. You come in and do what you need to do. Now, we ask folks to be courteous and not to stay on the computers because others will need it as well. But if you need to stay there in order to complete your work, then we encourage you to do so.
In terms of the decorum, should people treat it like they're in the library in terms of, you know, the cell phones not being on and ringing and the children running around, that sort of thing?
Yes, treat it like a library. You want to be courteous, make sure that those children aren't running around, make sure your cell phones are turned off, that you have no drinks, no food, because, you know, we cherish what we have and we want to make sure we have it for a long time, so we don't want to damage it by bringing in food and drinks and that sort of thing. So treat it like it's the library.
Right. In fact, there's a little area, a little snack area where the vending machines are. If people need to consume something, get a bite to eat, drink a beverage or something like that.
Yeah, there's even a microwave in there. If you want to bring in your own food, you can heat it up in there too. So use that more besides the actual resource room if you're going to come in with food and items like that.
Okay. Now, prior to getting to there are some kiosks up front. And a lot of people get, well, I don't know much about computers and I'm not too computer literate.
That's okay. That is okay. We have wonderful people up at the front desk that can help, that definitely can help you. The great thing is we actually have bilingual individuals up at our Tampa office. So if you're not so wonderful with the English language, they can help you with that as well. And they can walk you through the kiosk. If you're going to our WIA department, they will show you what you need to put in order to get counted for your participation there at the center.
Let's talk about step training. About 10 o'clock or 2 o'clock, just about every day of the week, as in Monday through Friday, there's some training, and you're the lead trainer. You're it.
Yes, I am it. I will be the step trainer for the Tampa, Brandon, and Plant City offices. We have those Monday through Friday, as you mentioned. We have several classes that we offer. Resume class, big one. Definitely, you go through your resume, what to do, what not to do. I always suggest folks to bring their resumes with them to make sure that you have that, so whenever you are going through the little things that I'm teaching, you can scribble down. We teach that 10 to 12 every Monday morning. We also have the interview skill building class, and we do that every Tuesday mornings from 10 to 12. That goes into details, really about the hot seat. That hot seat being in front of the employer, finding out the do's and don'ts, of course, about the interview. Again, 10 to 12, Monday through, on Tuesday, excuse me. And Wednesdays, we have coping with job loss. Coping with job loss. A lot of people are getting unemployed right now. They're not feeling so bright and bushy-tailed like they were before. And so I go through different steps on how to cope.
Right.
And as well, getting the most out of Employ Florida Marketplace.
EFM for sure.
EFM. That is a huge tool. It's a very powerful online tool, and it can be a bit cumbersome. It really can. And so in the class, I do teach that. That's Thursdays, 10 to 12. Okay, and then also a basic, intermediate, and an advanced class that I'll be teaching as well.
Now you've just added that, so that's great for the novice user, the one in the middle, and those who are advanced or want to step up to some advanced.
Want to step up, exactly. And so those vary. We have those on Thursday and Fridays as well. So that is for those, again, like you said, beginner, immediate, and advanced user for the computer classes.
That's great. In addition to those, anything else that should we sign up for those? That's the biggest thing.
Signing up, actually, all the step classes are first come, first serve. Okay, and so you definitely have to make sure that you're there early, okay, because it fills up fast. And bring all the necessary things that you have with you. I do the same with the resource room, making sure that cell phones are turned off, they don't bring any food, any drinks to those classes either. Right.
Now, if somebody, and I have seen this happen, people get lost, they get turned around. You have about a 4 or 5 minute window, a grace period, but if people come 10:17 and when the class started at 10:04, 10:05, that's a little disturbing, is it not?
It is, and I don't want you to feel like, oh no, well, Tanya's not letting you in. No, no, no. We want to make sure that everyone gets out of the class what they're looking for. We just ask if you show up on time. If you're a little bit late, that's fine, just not past 10 minutes. and we'll definitely still let you in.
Okay. We'd like to bring Bridget Skinner into this discussion. How are you today, Bridget?
I'm doing well, thank you,
Good.
Dale.
You're the lead WIA counselor. As I said, we use a lot of acronyms. What does WIA stand for?
WIA is the Workforce Investment Act,
Okay.
and this is a work-first program intended to assist individuals who are out of work and need training to upgrade their skill set.
Okay.
And that is where the WIA program comes into play.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about core services. I mean, there are a lot of people, for example, recently in the Tampa One Stop Center, there were 300 people on the east side of the building associated with welfare transition, also food stamps or supplemental nutrition assistance program. And there were 700 people on the west side of the building. That's a lot of people. And they were in core services. What services are offered for job seekers at no charge?
There are actually a wide array of services offered through the local one-stop center. As Tanya was mentioning, the resource room is a huge provider of those services through TBWA free of charge. Individuals can utilize telephones, fax machines, copiers, printers, computers, as well as our internet access to do all of their job searching needs. By using the internet, they can access our website, www.workforcetampa.com, as well as Employ Florida Marketplace. And on Employ Florida, individuals can post their resume, they can search different job postings, as well as research local labor market information. So it's a really good website to utilize.
Right. What's the process? I mean, when you come to core services and somebody's been in a job for a while, let's say you have two funding sources, a dislocated worker, those are people who are tied into unemployment, have not exhausted unemployment or what have you, or have exhausted unemployment. And then there's people who are adults who, based upon family size and income. What's the typical situation when they come in? Do they have to fill out some assessments, or do they have to register in Employ Florida, put their resume in there?
Well, in order to collect unemployment, individuals must register in Employ Florida Marketplace.
Okay.
But however, anybody can register in Employ Florida. It's a website that's available to everybody. And in addition to Employ Florida, there's also some one-on-one counseling that individuals can receive. So if they have specific questions concerning the job search, that is where that one-on-one assistance can come into play. And career counselors are trained to counsel individuals on their specific questions in order to assist them with the job search even more.
Right. And I would imagine after candidates come out of your class, or job seekers come out of your class, then they do have some questions. So they can get some questions answered regarding, well, let's critique your resume, I often find myself being involved in doing mock interviews.
Absolutely, interviewing tips, additional resume assistance, as well as development of individual employment plans, because everybody has different employment barriers. So if we can identify those and map out a way to overcome those, that's just going to help the job search all the more.
I'll ask either one of you, both of you, to respond to this actually. How important is it for follow-up? You talk about the interview classes, but you have to follow up. Don't you have to send some kind of correspondence, a thank you letter or something like that?
Yes, in my class, that is my favorite part of the interview process, the job search process, because we put all this work into building our resumes and providing the best presentation of ourselves for the interview, all of this work, but how do you know if it was effective? How do you know if the employer is interested in you? Follow up, giving a call, providing that thank you letter, that thank you email, just to see, what all of the effort, is that really paying off? So follow-up, I am a strong believer of follow-up, and I do teach that as well in the STEP training classes.
That's great. What about job fairs, Bridget? Job fairs, recruiting events, those happen. They're happening more now?
They're happening quite frequently, Dale, and these events are free to the public to attend. So in addition to what is offered in the one-stop center, individuals can also attend job fairs and recruiting events to network and get their name out there. These events showcase employers who are looking to hire individuals within Hillsborough County. So it's an excellent opportunity for job seekers to bring their resume, dress to impress, and really try to, find available positions.
Now, these jobs range from white collar, blue collar, no collar, skilled, semi-skilled, professional, and paraprofessional, do they not?
Absolutely.
A little bit of everything for everybody.
A little bit of everything. We have educators that are looking to hire, social service agencies, community organizations, a wide array of people looking to hire candidates.
Right.
And I'd actually like to add to
Sure.
that, just as a suggestion for those who are going to these job fairs and recruiting events, to have patience. To definitely have patience, because we have a lot of employers and a lot of candidates there that are doing the same thing. They're looking for work, and employers are looking for the right job seekers. But to remember to have patience, bring your extra resumes, bring extra references with you so you are well prepared for these events.
My favorite thing is to bring a pen.
Bring a pen.
Make sure you don't, let's say you've applied online with a company or an agency, and you don't want to, if the employer asks you to fill out a survey, you don't want to say buddy, say ma'am, do you have a pen I could borrow? You're searching around for a pen. You shouldn't search around, you should have your pen. And take your pen on a test drive, right? To make sure it works.
Absolutely. And these events are also excellent opportunities for job seekers to network amongst other individuals who are looking for work as well. So,
would it be safe to say that one of the main functions of the one-stop centers is to create success stories?
Definitely.
One candidate
Absolutely.
or one job seeker at a time?
yes.
Because I think it's a win-win situation. The employers are out there, I guess they're out there like they're fishing, fishing for candidates or fishing for job seekers. And then I guess to see the smiles on people's faces. Tell us about any success stories that come to mind, not naming anybody, but just talk about somebody, situation, somebody was kind of down and out and a little bewildered, if you will, and 6 months has gone by and they've used all their savings and now they've come and now they're smiling. And I think that's worth the price of admission. Of course, there's no admission cost to the One-Stop Center. Tell us about that. People you've talked to on the phone, Bridget.
Well, being in the WIA program and assisting individuals with training, I come across quite a few success stories of individuals who maybe just need to upgrade their skill set a little bit, and that's all that they need in order to land their ideal job. Once individuals go through their training program and they're able to get that aspiration, they're able to reach that goal, that is so rewarding, and that's really what makes my job so fulfilling.
Right, so it could be a 6-day, 6-week, or 6-month training program.
Oh, absolutely. There's truck driving, for instance, Roadmaster training, that's 3 weeks. And once you're done with that, you can be out on the road and, touring the U.S. and making money as well. So there's 3 weeks, 2 years, whatever length of training that they need to get their employment.
Right. Pardon the pun, Tanya, but what about your fan mail? What's in your not that somebody said what's in your wallet? What's in your email inbox in terms of feedback from candidates or job seekers?
Success stories.
Yes.
I do. I get them a lot, and it never surprises me that how many kudos that candidates give the staff members at Employ Florida, at a Tampa Bay workforce, through Employ Florida, through our STEP classes, through the WIA program, OJT programs, get them all the time. I actually recently had someone come to me today in my STEP class and said, you know what, Tanya, I went to your interview class and the things that you told me, I had no idea. I haven't been in the workforce for a long time. I just got laid off of a job for 10 years, and I had no idea the new trends, the new tips that are out there. And just coming to the class, she landed 5 interviews this week. And so now she's debating between 2, and she said the things that she did in that interview, she would have never done without coming to our center and getting the resources and getting the tips. And so it just makes you feel wonderful about the things that you do every day.
What does that say about not putting all of your eggs in one basket, right? In a tight economy, and it's getting better day by day, to be able to say, oh no, I'm sorry, I won't be able to take that, I've already lined something up. That's a pretty good feeling.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
I don't think you go eeny, meeny, miny, mo, but some people do have that choice of, have choices of what to go into and you want to have a good fit. Anything else, Bridget, about job placement assistance, job referrals, those kinds of things?
Absolutely. In addition to the one-on-one counseling that individuals can receive, counselors are also able to refer individuals to specific job postings in Employ Florida Marketplace. So by developing that relationship with the job seeker, career counselors can peruse a resume for applicable skills, in addition to the specific requirements of particular job postings that are listed in Employ Florida. And should we find a match, we can notify the employer, send them the individual's resume, or just send them a notification through Employ Florida directly.
Right. I'm going to throw this out here. Two things that I see often in Employ Florida. All caps, or a combination of all caps and lowercase, and the people who may not have let spell check be their best friend. Let's talk about that. How important is it to not have all caps says you're shouting? I found it out. One of my good co-workers, Charles Border, says, well, you sent me an email and he says, why are you shouting? I say, well, shouting, I just put it in all caps. He says, well, you're shouting. Did I give you a shout out? No, you know what I mean. So how important is that not to, other than capitalizing the first letter of your first name and the second, and other than an acronym like WIA or WTP, how important is it not to have all caps?
It's incredibly important. And when entering your resume into Employ Florida, you would want to draft it up as if you were drafting up an actual resume that you would print out and distribute to employers. So you want to really take the time to make sure everything is spelled correctly. There's actually an option to where you can draft up your resume in Word and then just import it into Employ Florida directly. But if you're having issues, there's always career counselors available to help you. Because as Tanya said, it can be a little bit tricky to navigate if you're not so computer savvy. So we would be able to assist you with that.
Sometimes I see people who have a so-called obligatory or token resume in Employ Florida, and they have a deluxe resume in their portfolio or their email. Tell us about how that should look.
I personally warn candidates of that, because what they don't realize is employers see every aspect of their resume. They see it in the Employ Florida Marketplace. So you want it to look just as deluxe as the one that you have printed out in front of you. So we want it, so you want to be careful of that. And Bridget did mention that you can format it in Word, so it can look how you would like it, and then just transfer it over to Employ Florida. And again, if you're not familiar with that system or how to operate computers, that's why we have the classes. That's why we have the staff members there that can definitely help anyone with that step. But you have to remember to show your advertisements well, no matter where they are.
Right. Plus there are question marks on every page. You're going to say something.
Yes, Tanya brings up a good point. Employers can actually search Employ Florida Marketplace database for absolutely, sure. So long as the resume has been uploaded and has made available for viewing. That is something that employers can do as well. So it not only benefits the job seeker, by uploading it and being able to apply through jobs online, but the employer can also look for it as well.
Right. I'm going to role play here. I'm looking for a job. I have call center experience, warehouse experience, and accounts receivable and payable experience. Here's my one-size-fits-all resume. You figure it out.
Absolutely not. You need to target that resume to each position that you're looking to apply for.
But that takes time. That takes work.
Yes, it does. Time and work is what is needed to be successful in finding a job. And I tell folks that you have to put just as much effort you put when you were working into the job that you have to put that much effort into the job search. You have to. It might take a long day, a long week in order for you to cater each resume to each position, but it's going to be well worth it.
Right. So is it safe to say that one should tweak a resume per position? If I'm applying for 10 different positions, I should have 10 different versions of my resume?
Absolutely. Yes. And if you post a resume on Employ Florida, you can't just, post it and forget it, so to speak. After a resume has been uploaded for 180 days, it actually expires and then is no longer available for employers to view. So, job seekers need to make sure that they're consistently going in, tweaking something in their resume so as to keep it active.
Wow, that's great. That's good advice. Are there any other tips that we should know about what goes on in core services, step training? I want to make sure we cover everything. I don't want to be redundant, but I want to make sure we covered everything.
Well, I think the most important aspect of the services offered through TBWA is that they are universal. Everybody, veterans, individuals with disabilities, every single person has access to the services that we provide, and they're free of charge. So.
Right. There are going to be, speaking of veterans, there's going to be a lot of veterans returning from those various campaigns, Iraq, also Afghanistan, and veterans can expect to get priority of service, initial and ongoing assessments, career guidance, employability development plan, which I want to revisit in a moment, also provision of labor market information, referrals to employment opportunities, and veteran-specific job fairs. But then again, other candidates or other job seekers can also benefit, especially with that part about employability development plan. Have a plan. What am I good at? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Those are some of the things you covered or that are covered at the one-stop centers, right?
Yes, and that plan, it's not something that's necessarily set in stone. Individuals' aspirations and plans can change, and that is what the career counselors are there for, to assist with, okay, how do we overcome this barrier? What can we do to, increase your marketability and that type of thing?
Right. Before we delve into the specifics of the WIA program, Workforce Investment Act, how important is it to create a business card? To market oneself that uses both sides of the card.
Yes, I definitely recommend business cards. Business cards are a great separate advertisement, because I always believe my resume is my advertisement of myself. A business card is a separate advertisement that can be quickly handed out at networking events, career fairs. Put on the front your contact information. Make sure it's up to date, accurate, and on the flip side, put your skills. Maybe a few bullets of your top main skills and the target occupation you're trying to go after. They don't cost much. That you could go on several online websites and get them free at
Get a little
times.
card stock paper and make it happen.
Exactly. You can even use the printers in the resource room and print your own if you'd like.
Wow. That's great. Bridget, did you want to comment on that?
Oh no, I agree with Tanya wholeheartedly. I think having a business card, having something that you can pass out, that's not your resume necessarily, a big sheet of paper, but something smaller, more portable, incredibly important.
Portability is important because I often give the scenario, if you're in line at a store and you're returning something and you're second in line and the person in front of you is talking about his or her relative or friend who has this new plant that's about to open, you can pull out your card and give it to them, and be sure to flip it over. Don't assume that they'll look at it automatically. Flip it over and say, these are my skill sets, and would you let your nephew know that I'm interested in working there? Because that's, what about that 30-second elevator speech, Bridget? What about that?
That introduction, that is so important. Tell me a little bit about yourself. That's really your advertisement, your personal speech of, your abilities and skills. So, having that down to 30 seconds, keeping people's interest is incredibly important.
Right. One of the experiences I overheard in Tanya's class was something about having to ask for the job. You have to ask for the job. If I can offer you a person who is dependable, reliable, customer friendly with internal and external customers, can I get you to offer me the job?
Am I one of your top candidates?
Right. When will you make a decision?
There you go.
Yeah. That's real important. And even after the interview is over, after the deal has been consummated, I guess a thank you letter of appreciation, referring other candidates to them is also, because you want to maintain a good rapport.
Well, and it's an additional reminder, to the employer, oh, hey, not only is this a good candidate on paper, but, they're courteous as well.
Right. One-stop career managers at the various one-stop career managers at the Brandon, Plant City, and Tampa locations are staying ready, willing, and able to help candidates, right?
Always. They are. They're ready for individuals to walk through the door, ask them for their help, ask for more resources. I know at all of our centers we have resource books. So any individual can come in, ask a question about those, and a staff member is more than happy to help.
How important is it to be patient? Let's talk specifically about the WIA program, because there are a lot of I's to dot and a lot of T's to cross. But you have rules and regulations, you have audits that happen, and you want to make certain that everything is appropriate.
I mean, with the WIA program, it can be viewed, and it is oftentimes viewed as a lengthy process to receive that voucher payment. Mm-hmm. But like you said, we are federally funded, so we need to make sure that all of the paperwork is in order so that that voucher can be issued.
Okay, and it's targeted to adults, dislocated workers, and as well as youth.
Absolutely. This program is intended to assist all individuals who meet our eligibility criteria. So individuals who have been laid off from their job, qualify as low income, and even youths we can assist to help upgrade their skill set and enable them to regain employment and self-sufficiency.
How important is it to have a plan B? Plan C, Plan D. I want to go into welding, MIG, TIG welding or something like that, but only stick welding is available, something like that. How important is that?
When we sit down with individuals who are interested in our program, we actually do assessments with them to see what skills do they currently possess and what careers could these skills be transferred to. And that kind of gives, job seekers an idea of, okay, well, I've got this in mind, but based on this assessment, I could also, these are other viable options as well. So it's always good to have, those backup plans per se. So in the instance that, Plan A doesn't work out, you've got Plan B, Plan C that you can look into and research.
Right. And there's quite a bit to choose from. OJT, can you explain that to our listeners?
OJT is on-the-job training, and this program is really geared towards the employer. And it is a program that is an incentive to the employer by providing 50% of an individual's salary for the amount of time that they are in training. And that period of time is determined by the employer as well as the Tampa Bay Workforce Alliance representative. So it is really an incentive for employers to maybe hire individuals on that they might not have considered before, given the fact that TBWA would be paying them the cost of training those people.
Okay. Now, what about these invitation-only recruiting events? You actually, again, go fishing, trying to get some candidates who meet the job specifications.
Absolutely. The majority of our, job fairs and recruiting events are universal, but we do have some that are more specialized. Mm-hmm. Employers know what candidates they want to hire, and so they want job seekers that fit the bill. And in those situations, we do have invitation-only events. In which case, if you've been participating in WIA, if you've been participating in OJT, your career counselor has an idea of your aspirations and goals to where they would be able to notify you of these invitation-only events and extend you that invite.
Right. Now, I would imagine that when you get calls and emails, and Tanya, when you get calls and emails, there's a sort of cross-reference. I mean, somebody's probably calling you and asking you, hey, what about these training classes? Because we're talking about training, we're talking about some short-term training, some daily training, and now we're talking about some maybe longer-term training, because the trainings in WIA run from 3 weeks up to 2 years, right?
Oh, it's, there's even a course that you can take over the weekend and be done with in 2 days. So, the length of time of the courses varies. With the WIA program, we assist for up to 2 years. So any program that extends that, we would assist for only 2 years of that program. But ours Our program, it's really a stepping stone, and then, by utilizing the STEP courses, in addition to the skills that they've earned from training, it's really an all-encompassing, learning experience in job seeking.
Okay, I'll revisit it, the question, and I thank you for that answer, because that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Do you all get, in other words, do you get questions, Tanya, about WI training, and do you get questions about the STEP training?
I do all the time.
Okay,
And
other things that...
And other things as well.
Like veterans of veteran services?
Exactly, our WTP,
right.
Youth programs. So yes, all the time we get those. And I'm so thankful that I'm well educated on all of them, because I get tons of questions thrown at me. But if anyone ever has questions about those programs, they can always just go up to our front desk, let the folks know who you're wanting to see, what program you're interested in, and they will direct you to whomever they need to speak to.
Right. I said a pen earlier, having a pen, and it's probably a good idea to have some paper.
And some
have
paper.
a pad. I'm so old school until, that guy used to scratch his head as Columbo or something like that. He said, now tell me what happened. You have to write things down. And how important is it, Bridget, to have good notes?
Oh, it's imperative, to take notes in Tanya's classes, to take notes when you meet with your career counselor. When they are developing your individual employment plan, they will actually give you a copy of that to take home with you, so you kind of can map out yourself at home what your plan is, in terms of training, in terms of finding a job, whatever it may be. So it's always important to, write down notes. If, I mention a job fair to you, write down the date and time, people are absolutely, people are so busy, it's easy to forget things and events that may be happening. So it's always important to have that pen and paper handy.
Right. Do you find, Tanya, that people take your class more than one time?
Oh, yes. I'm starting to start my classes off. Well, it's nice to see you guys are coming back again, because they do. They take it over and over, and I am an advocate of that. If you need to come 1, 2, 3 times to a resume class, an interview class, just to get extra tips, because each class is a little bit different, because I try and have it as an open forum, and we just share with one another. Instead of me just standing up there and presenting from a PowerPoint slide, we are all learning from each other. So they come back time after time, and I encourage that.
Right. Now, when it comes to WIA program, it's basically once in your life?
Yes, you cannot do it more than one time, and that's why it's so important to research your options, look into your schools, look into the various programs that these schools offer, so that when you arrive at a decision, you feel really comfortable with it. Because once you get enrolled, that's pretty much it with our program.
And the turnaround time, I've heard 2 weeks, I've heard 3 weeks. Is it safe to say that the turnaround time for people to get approved or to get the voucher, it varies? It
does vary, and it's really dependent upon, how willing the individual is to meet the career counselor halfway. One of the things that, I'm very upfront about is we cannot do anything with your file until you provide us all of the necessary documentation. And we will actually provide applicants with a checklist, that details everything that we would need from them in order to be able to process their file and issue them a voucher. So, they're aware of what they need to bring in. It's just a matter of, when they do that for us.
Okay. And getting back to details, even for people who are dislocated workers, people who are drawing unemployment, it's important for them when they're claiming their weeks to put in that they attended this class taught by Tanya Weathers on this date.
Yes.
And so on and so forth. That's real important.
It is important. And folks, you can claim the STEP classes for unemployment. That's a really big bonus. Not only are you learning about building your resume, but you can claim it for your weeks as well. I still encourage to job search, just hunt, for those jobs still, but you can definitely claim the class.
I'd like to throw out an example. The state requires that you have 5 job searches between one Sunday of 1 week and Saturday of that same week, Sunday through Saturday. And one candidate looked for 35 jobs per week and put that in Employ Florida. Put that in the floridajobs.org or Fluid Now. And so that's about 140 jobs in a month. I have never seen anybody smile, jump up and down so much as this candidate did when she got a job. She had worked somewhere for 28 years. She didn't want to stop working and she got laid off. But if you put in more than the required effort, you will likely get more than the required or the expected results, right?
You reap what you sow.
Exactly.
Wow, that is great. Anything else, is there anything else that I did not cover that you'd like to share regarding what happens at the One Stop Center, your specific programs, and so on and so forth? By the way, we want people to be aware that they can go to the the website rather, www.workforcetampa.com, and find out. You can click on Career Candidate Services and find out what's happening.
Absolutely, and the WIA program is located under the Specialty Programs tab, so they can go there and do a little bit more research on that as well.
Right.
Yes.
Anything else that you'd like to share about STEP training? I mean,
Yes.
it's been tweaked, sort of.
Yes.
I won't say it's new and improved, but it's been tweaked.
It's been tweaked, and you know what? I'm going to keep tweaking to match the needs of the community. That's the reason why we added the advanced computer class, and I'm getting a lot of other requests maybe for a mock interview class. And so each month it probably will change. Maybe the last Friday of every month we'll have one specialty class based on demand. But they can go to the website, workforcetampa.com, and find out what that calendar and the times for the classes will be for each month.
It's been really great talking to both of you,
Same
both
here.
Bridget Skinner and Tanya Weathers, about what goes on at the One Stop Centers in Hillsborough County, Region 15. And I guess persistence, patience,
Due diligence.
you have to make it happen for yourself, and also a positive attitude. How important is that, to have a positive attitude before, during, and after the interview process?
It's incredibly important, and it's so easy to become disheartened in the job search. But I find that with the individuals that keep that positive outlook, it comes much easier to them than the ones that get down on themselves. So even if they've been at it a while, keep that optimism and good outlook on it.
Right, and I might also add that there is a certain prime time set of a window of opportunity. That is to say that generally from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., it's pretty busy at the One Stop Centers. And if you can come a little earlier in the morning, come a little later in the afternoon, especially at the Wednesday later hours or extended hours at Workforce Tampa until 7 o'clock, there's not a lot of people, there's not a lot of demand to use the computers.
Exactly, and there's still staff there
Right.
able to help you.
Right. We certainly do thank you, Tanya Weathers,
Welcome.
training, and you have a good backup in Bob Bailey's and others who can go to bat for you. And of course, Bridget Skinner, thank you so much for sharing information about the WIA program and other programs about the One Stop Center. I think people have a pretty good idea of what to expect and what to do. Once again, WIA, I'll go over those acronyms: Workforce Investment Act, EFM, Employer Florida Marketplace, and of course, TBWA, Tampa Bay Workforce Alliance. We certainly do thank you for viewing and checking out this continuing series, the Job Hunting 101. We've talked about the One Stop Centers today, and we thank you very much for viewing and have a good day. Job seekers, you can upload your resume, view job postings, and research labor market information at employflorida.com.